WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. It's become routine to talk about Mississippi State women's basketball on the Sunday of the SEC tournament. The Bulldogs reaching their 5th straight SEC tournament championship, hoping to keep the trophy in Starkville. WCBI Sports' Tom Ebel joins us live with more on the big game.
Cash, it's become one of women's college basketball's biggest rivalries. Mississippi State and South Carolina meeting for the 4th time in 5 years to decide who would be the SEC tournament champion. The Bulldogs looking for revenge after the Gamecocks escaped with a win back in January. The Bulldogs trying to keep the bragging rights as SEC tournament reigning champs. Let's get to the game. First quarter, quick defense from the Bulldogs. Jessica Carter says no soup for you. It'd be a block party in Greenville. Both teams combining for 10-plus blocks in this one. But a few possessions later, Kiki Herbert-Harrigan off the glass for 2. Gamecocks with the early lead. Midway through the first, Rakia Jackson, that sweet mid-range game looking good. It's a 2-point ball game early on. Later in the first quarter, it's Aaliyah Matharu, the freshman, showing out. 3-point bucket cut South Carolina's lead to a 6-point game. But that'd be the theme of the day for Mississippi State, cutting into South Carolina's lead. Jordan Danbury with the mid-range J and 1 bucket. Bulldogs found themselves down double digits for most of the game. 5 minutes remaining. South Carolina in transition. Zaya Cook, mid-range jumper. Gamecocks with a 16-point lead. And that was really the story. Mississippi State's only lead of the ballgame coming when it was 2-0 in the first quarter. Gamecocks get the win 76-62. Mississippi State 0-5 versus South Carolina in the postseason in the past 5 years. We'll have more from Vic Schaefer and company coming up later in sports. Cash, back to you.
All right, thanks, Tom. A rainy day for the Bulldogs, Keith, but a little sunshine for us. Is that right?
We enjoyed the sunshine today, Cash. We do have some more rain back in the forecast, so let's talk about where we're headed here. In the near term, a pretty nice evening. We saw the clouds come on in and a great sunset there in West Alabama. Also a shot at the nearly full moon rising earlier this evening. Technically full tomorrow afternoon, but let's just say it's full right now. You can see the clouds coming back in. These are of the high variety, easy for me to say, and no rain expected tonight. Temperatures are now cooling down into the 50s in many spots. There are some outliers like the Air Force Base 49, and I do think we'll gradually cool down into the 40s, mid to upper 40s in many spots later on tonight. When we wake up, 45 degrees at 7 o'clock, mostly cloudy at noon tomorrow, 64. Highs up to around 70. Rain chances a little bit higher from mid-afternoon into the evening, but the first part of the day looks to be dry. There's your forecast here, upper 60s to low 70s, but the wind could gust up to about 30. I'm back with your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Well, today is International Women's Day. It's a global celebration of social, economic, and political achievements of women. Our DeAndrea Turner went out into the community to find out more.
I have woman power.
That's what Ashley Hayden Shields says is her favorite part about herself.
Women are so important because if it weren't for women, we wouldn't have everyday essentials, and women make sure everything runs smooth.
They hold a family together. They make sure everything is done on time. They make sure their kids are taken care of. They get to the doctor's appointments. They work, cook, clean. They do all of it. They hold the whole family together.
More than 24% of women make up national government leadership positions, from holding political positions to being a team player and even being a mother. Women do it all. Sydney Westmoreland says the woman who does it all in her life is her mom.
She was there from the jump. She's still there today. I'd call her for anything.
Hayden Shields has 3 sons. Her oldest son says she's a super mom.
Do a lot for her. She made sure we had clothes, shoes. She do a lot for us.
The theme for this year's International Women's Day is I Am Generation Equality, realizing women's rights. The women we spoke with believe there is more to achieve.
Nowhere but up. That's it. We just got to keep doing better in the future.
Mississippi University for Women is hosting the Rightfully Hers exhibit, showcasing the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, and the W happens to be home to the first women's college in the country. Well, former Vice President Joe Biden was in Jackson earlier today for a campaign rally before Tuesday's primary elections in Mississippi. The rally was held at Tougaloo College. Biden discussed his agenda of making sure more jobs are added to Mississippi's economy and his plan to help families living off of minimum wage. This was Biden's second campaign event of the day. He first appeared at New Hope Baptist Church alongside U.S. Representative Benny Thompson during their Sunday service. Well, Bernie Sanders is also on the campaign trail today. Both Biden and Sanders are touting new endorsements. Here's Nicole Killian.
I have decided that I am, with great enthusiasm, going to endorse Joe Biden for President of the United States.
California Senator Kamala Harris made it official, becoming the 8th former presidential candidate to back Joe Biden. Harris ended her own bid in December, gaining prominence for this debate moment when she challenged the former vice president over desegregation and school busing.
Do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No,
do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America.
While Biden campaigned in Mississippi, Bernie Sanders countered in Michigan with an endorsement from civil rights leader Jesse Jackson.
I stand with Bernie Sanders today because he stood with me.
It is one of the honors of my life to be supported by a man who has put his life on the line for the last 50 years fighting for justice.
One key endorsement remains elusive for both candidates, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
So you're not endorsing anyone yet?
Well, it's tough. Maybe I'll just pull a New York Times and endorse them both.
Senator Harris appears with Biden in Detroit Monday. Sanders has spent all weekend in Michigan, but claims the state is not make or break for his campaign. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
Columbus's post office recently passed a bicentennial milestone with little fanfare. It's part of the city's history that spans 2 states. Our Savannah Gato has more on a local piece of history.
What's amazing is that March 6th, last week, was the 200th anniversary of the official establishment of a post office in Columbus.
This 2-century-long achievement has a unique twist.
It's sort of fun because they thought Columbus was in Alabama, so it was a postal route from Tuscaloosa to Columbus and to the county seat of Marion County, Alabama, which was Henry Greer's house where Columbus Air Force Base is.
There was about a year delay before the official announcement was made. The original post office location was on the corner of the Trotter Convention Center.
And then on March 6th, the post office department named the town of Columbus a post office. But by the time they completed all the contracts for mail delivery, post riders, post roads, it was December of 1820. It took that long for the government to get everything in motion.
The post office is not the only historic building in town. A number of homes will soon open their doors to visitors from around the world.
Columbus really became a town in 1819, and it started growing. And that's celebrated every year at this time by the Columbus Pilgrimage that's coming up at the end of March.
The original Columbus post office may be a thing of the past, but historian Rufus Ward says mail delivery isn't going anywhere and anytime soon.
Actually, people do still send a lot of mail. You get a lot of advertising, flyers and stuff, but sometimes it's nice just to actually send a letter or a real invitation to somebody. That seems so much more personal than an email or an evite.
Getting sick is a big concern these days. Coming up, some tips and tricks on how to avoid viruses. Mom to Mom is next. Stay with us. Getting sick, something on everyone's mind lately. Today on Mom to Mom, some tips on how to keep your immune system healthy. Take a look.
Today on Mom to Mom, we've got some expert tips on how to boost your family's immune system all year long. I am joined with Dr. Pierce. He's going to help us out with these awesome issues. What do you got for us?
Yeah, well, listen, the first thing when we're talking about a kid's immune system is we got to change the diet. You got to stop eating sugar. Sugar causes inflammation, and inflammation is going to lead to immune system issues, and so we want to make sure that we reduce sugar as much as we can.
What's next?
So, kids' lunches, and what they take to lunch. I mean, my kids in kindergarten, and the stuff I see them feeding is absolutely ridiculous. The things that they feed them are full of high fructose corn syrup, and it's all inflammatory. It's all a bunch of sugars, and it's just not good and healthy for them. So the way you can control that is by packing their lunch. Send them something nutritious, send them something that's good for them, and it's going to feed their body what they need.
Awesome. What else you got for us?
The last thing I'd say is there's certain supplements that you can take to boost your immune system. I think vitamin D3 is one of the most important things, and especially during flu seasons, taking something like elderberry can help. And then overall, a probiotic is really going to stimulate the immune system and help people go into the bathroom and just helping overall health as well.
Awesome. And you suggest this for the entire family?
The entire family, that is great for them, yes.
How young is too young for them?
Yeah, I'd say you guys can start that. I mean, I give probiotics to my 12-week-old.
These are such wonderful tips. I think all moms can implement this as well. And as always, we really appreciate having you on the show, Dr. Pierce. Moms, be sure to check us out on our Facebook page, and we'll see you on the next Mom to Mom.
Some rain showers back in the forecast as we get into the work week. It seems like we've had some nice weekends, and then immediately after, we've had some wet Mondays, and we will likely have some rain around starting the work week on Monday. Your full forecast next.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Some nice weather this weekend. How about it? Yesterday and today, plenty of sunshine. Our time lapses from Columbus and Tupelo, Vernon and Louisville. Wow, look at all that blue sky. And then the higher clouds streamed on in, much like yesterday. But in general, a great weekend for us. As we get into the work week, well, it's going to be a bit unsettled. See the rain out there in Oklahoma and Texas. That's making a beeline towards our area. Not so much tonight or tomorrow morning when you wake up. A mix of clouds and sunshine during the morning hours. Then we'll fill in whatever breaks we do have and become mostly cloudy to overcast. And by the mid to late afternoon, showers will tend to roll on in here. And then some rain possible tomorrow night into our Tuesday morning, and perhaps some afternoon showers, maybe a thunder shower on Tuesday. You can see it right there. A bit unsettled here as we start the work week. Thunderstorm potential pretty low here. Future lightning potential here for Monday and Tuesday, not really showing a lot, so we don't really think there's going to be a lot of strong or heavy activity here to start out the work week. But there will be some rain around Monday afternoon through the overnight into your Tuesday, Wednesday. There could be a few strong storms Wednesday afternoon. We'll watch that. But even going into the weekend, there will be some opportunities for some rain, but not as heavy or prolific as what we've had around here. A stalled frontal boundary, some disturbances moving along it all week long into the upcoming weekend will give us a chance for some rain. Our preparedness tour is back next Saturday. At Academy Sports, we're going back to Starkville, 10 a.m. until noon, programming weather radios. And spotter training is getting going again. The National Weather Service going up to Ackerman on the 11th, Tupelo on the 16th, and Amory the 6th of April. That was supposed to be this week, but that's been pushed back a month. You can also download our WCBI News app for the latest forecast, weather alerts, live severe weather coverage, and of course you can upload pictures and videos to us, and we'd love to share those when we get them. Tonight down into the mid-40s. We are still in the 50s now in many spots, but likely a little bit cooler as we go throughout the rest of the night. Here's our planner for tomorrow. Notice the rain chances going on up in the afternoon and the evening hours. Rain chances will be going on up. Wind will be going on up as well. Look at those wind speeds. We could be gusting up to about 30. Here's your AccuWeather 70 forecast. So 69 tomorrow, 72 Tuesday, 75 on Wednesday. Cash, we're looking at a more spring-like 70 forecast, 60s and 70s through next weekend. Some opportunities for rain, but probably not all-day washouts here, but there will be some rain around.
Keith, we had a beautiful weekend, and then you just went and ruined it.
Hey, you know what? We're going back to work, so might as well rain, right?
May as well, yeah. All right. Well, the Gamecocks get the best of Mississippi State again, but the Bulldogs will shift their focus to the big dance. Our coverage from Greenville, South Carolina continues next in sports.
Basketball tournament in Greenville is brought to you by Columbus Orthopedic. Trust one place. Cannon Ford of Starkville. Nobody beats a Cannon deal. Nobody. And visit Columbus, the city that has it all. Here's sports with Tom Ebel.
South Carolina continues to be the thorn in the side of Hale State hoops when it comes to postseason basketball. South Carolina defeating Mississippi State 76-62 for the SEC Tournament Championship. The fourth time in 5 years the Gamecocks defeating the Bulldogs for the tournament title. In the loss, Mississippi State's only lead of the ball game coming at 2-0 in the first quarter. While the confetti didn't fall for the Bulldogs in 2020, this time around, it's now the NCAA tournament. Courtney Robb has the recap from Greenville.
Another championship and another championship loss for Mississippi State to South Carolina. This one happening in the SEC Women's Basketball Championship, 76-62. The Bulldogs falling to the Gamecocks in the last 5 years in every postseason meeting the two teams have had. Not even being the SEC reigning champs could make the Bulldogs immune. The Gamecocks doing so well in transition, shooting 25 points off the fast break, while MSU lost energy, only able to shoot 34% from the field. The Bulldogs saying it was that lack of energy that got them the loss against the Gamecocks.
Pleading with them, Pete, the entire game, that our energy level was just nowhere, and so it affected our competitive level. And I knew that South Carolina was going to bring it. I felt like they, that first game, I just felt like and they've gotten better too. You have to obviously realize that was a month and a half ago, so they've gotten better. But we just, for whatever reason, didn't have it.
In the game plan, it was for us to get back because we knew that's what they like to do. We just weren't disciplined enough to do it. They're just really fast. Everybody ran the floor for them, so it was just hard to match that.
They're a really long team. They're very athletic, so we were just trying to drive the ball and get some paint points. They were just rotating over and getting blocking our shots. And, it was kind of like bringing us down, like, Danny blocking our shots. What do you do next? But we just have to keep attacking them.
Anytime we play, 3 games back to back to back, it's going to be hard for both teams. But I could say that they had a role to play as well, but we just didn't come to play today.
We took a lot of breaks off and didn't play hard in some possessions. You can't have empty possessions with the number 1 team in the country, and that's what we had today. We're such a young team, and we still made it this far, although we would love to win it, but we didn't. But, just to come this far and be a young team shows a lot.
Tonight was just another obstacle for us, and we didn't do our best, but I know that going forward, in practice, we're going to get better from this. We're going to use this as fuel, and we just got to prepare and get ready for the tournament.
MSU head coach Vic Schaefer says he has no interest in his team only being good. He wants to see them make another NCAA Final Four appearance this year. That all begins on Selection Monday, March 16th. Reporting at Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
The SEC men's basketball tournament in Nashville is set, but the seeding was ultimately decided by Mississippi State and Ole Miss. For the Bulldogs, sending a big thank you to Kentucky for defeating Florida in the final seconds, and Vanderbilt defeating South Carolina. For MSU, clinching the coveted double bye. For Ole Miss, going from the late game Wednesday as the 11 seed, but due to Missouri's win over Alabama, the Rebels dropped to the 12 seed. Both head coaches with much different outlooks for Nashville after Saturday's game.
The double bye is critical because our best chance to know we're in is to win, the tournament. That's our goal. And this allows us now to have 2 of the next 3 days off to really try to get our guys, legs back, healed up, rest, and at the same time, focused.
This doesn't carry great momentum into Nashville, so I don't know. We just got to go back and watch the tape, try to be better in practice. There's no good message out of that right there for sure.
So let's talk about the SEC tournament in Nashville starting on Wednesday. We talked about it a little bit, Georgia and Ole Miss. That's your 6 o'clock game on Wednesday. They get the SEC tournament started. The Rebels winning that matchup 70-60 in the regular season, so it's the second time the Bulldogs and the Rebels will meet. Winner of that game advances to face Florida. Florida faced with a big injury. Kerry Blackshear hurt his wrist against Kentucky. We'll see what his availability is like in Nashville. But Ben Howland teased it after Saturday's game against Ole Miss, the possibility of an Ole Miss-Mississippi State rematch on Friday. The Bulldogs will be waiting in the wings with that double bye. Approximately 2:30 p.m. Friday is when Mississippi State will take the floor at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville to find out what their destiny will be. The Bulldogs possibly needing an SEC tournament victory in order to punch their ticket to the big dance with some big opportunities. Kentucky on the top side of that bracket with the Bulldogs. So we'll see what happens once this tournament gets started in just a few days. Coming up next in sports, the Red Hot Rebels continue their tear, much to the disappointment of actual baseballs. The home run hitting action when we come back. Welcome back to WCBI Sports. Few teams in college baseball as red hot as Ole Miss. The Rebels have won 13 straight games. Their last loss, opening night against Louisville. Number 8 Ole Miss looking to make it 14 straight, going for the sweep against Princeton. Not a bad start. Second batter of the day, Peyton Chatinier plants one into left field over the wall. See you later. Rebels up 1-0 in a blink. Princeton would actually tie the ball game up in the second at 2, but that would end very quickly. Justin Bench mashes one. A little bit of deja vu to left field yet again. Something about that left field wall. It's a 5-run bottom of the third for Ole Miss, and at this point, annihilation. 12-2 Ole Miss. Make it 14-2 Ole Miss. Anthony Servideo joins the Sunday Home Run Club in Oxford. Game only goes 7 innings. Princeton threw in the dang towel. Rebels win its 14th straight, 14-2. Mississippi State going for its first sweep since opening weekend, taking on Quinnipiac. Cameron James double in the first inning. Good start for the Bulldogs. 2 runs score. So it's 2-0. Well, 1 run, yeah. 2-run score. 1 run scores for the Bulldogs. We're all over the place here. 2-1 Quinnipiac. And now the Bobcats take the lead. Michael Cohn with a laser beam to right field. That's a 2 RBI double. So Quinnipiac takes a 3-2 lead. But bottom of the inning, lead doesn't last very long. It's tea time for Logan Tanner. Sends one about 331 feet right over the wall in left field. That ties the ball game up. The beginning of a big inning for the Bulldogs. Rowdy Jordan, order restored. RBI single's going to bring home Mason Land. So the Bulldogs retake the lead. And a few batters after that, Jordan Westberg. Somehow this ball stays in the yard as Logan Tanner's went 331, Jordan's went 384 out there in deep left center field. But look at the runs scored, 2 at a time. Whee! 2 guys at the same time, cross the plate at the same time. That's Rowdy Jordan and Tanner Leggett. Let's take it one more time. Look at whee! Tailing each other. Bulldogs get the win 8-4. And in some more sports from around the area, NCAA softball, Mississippi State improves to 24-3 on the season with a 2-0 win over Southeast Missouri. And Ole Miss softball on the wrong end of a sweep. They fall to Missouri 3-1. That's it for sports. A last look at your forecast next.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.